Yo, what's going on guys? You're watching PSD to WordPress lesson 3, and in this video we're going to start coding up the header and footer HTML. Alright guys, so before we get started, I just want to make one change to something I did last lesson. We saved all these images in the last lesson and I accidentally named one of these thumb 1 twice. This should be thumb 4, so I'm just going to rename that to thumb-4, and here presto we have all of them, thumb 1 through to thumb 4. Alright, now the next thing I've done is created this empty folder right here called PSD to WP, and that's on my desktop. I'm just going to drag this images folder into that right there. Okay, so we can close that down, and now what I've done is I've opened brackets and I've opened up this folder in brackets right now. Okay, all I did was go to File, Open Folder, and then choose this PSD to WP folder on my desktop, and it's given me that right there. I've also got now the PSD file open on the right, and what we're going to do in this tutorial is start coding up the index.html file, and in particular just focus on the header section and the footer section down here. Alright, so what I want to do first is go to View and then go to Show and then go to Slices. It's currently ticked, which means it's showing all the slices. Now I don't want them to show because I want to see the PSD on its own, so I'm going to click that and it's going to hide all of those little slices I did. Alright, so first thing I need to do over here is right click in this little pane and say New File. We're going to call this index.html, and then we'll do our doc type declaration at the top. This is just saying that, hey look, this is a HTML file. We need that at the top of all HTML files. And then we're going to do our HTML tags. Within that we need a head tag and then a title tag within that. This is just going to be the title at the top of the browser tab, and the website is called Resto, so let's just put in Resto. Oops. Down here we need to do our body tag, and then the first thing I want to do in the body tag is this header section right here. Now HTML5 has a tag called header, so we're just going to use that because it's quite semantic. And then within that, the first thing I want to do is create a div with a class of wrapper. Now I've talked about this in some of my previous tutorials, and essentially all this class is going to do is keep all of the content within this central column. Okay, you can see it's about 1200 pixels wide from here to here, right? So this wrapper is going to have a max width of 1200 pixels, and we're going to position it centrally, so it's always got that central column in the middle, right? So that's what this is going to do. And I'll go through it a little bit more when I write up the CSS. But for now, I want to do a H1. And this H1 is going to represent this logo right here. So we're going to give it a class of logo, like that. And then what we'll do is we'll write in Resto. Now you might be thinking, well, this is an image, so why aren't we putting an image tag in there? And the reason, guys, is that we're going to do that via a background image in the CSS. And the reason I want to do that is for screen readers, because if a screen reader comes onto your website and they see an image, they wouldn't see the image. Yeah, they'd see the alt tag, but they'd see this text. All right, so this is kind of like a backup for screen readers. Now, for desktop users, we're going to hide this text and we're going to replace it with a background image of this thing right here. So it works for both screen readers and desktop users. So this is the way I like to do it. All right, the next thing we need to do is create that nav. And again, this is a HTML5 element, and it's just semantic. We can use it to create navigations. And all nav elements require, or expect rather, some kind of heading, right? So I'm going to do a H2, and I'm going to say main navigation. And again, this is for the benefit of screen readers, so that they know that this here is the main navigation of the website. We're going to hide this in the CSS because it's not on the design. All right, so let's create that UL tag right here, and we need a few LIs, each with an anchor tag in them. We don't need to worry about the links for now because we'll sort all that out when we come to do the WordPress side of things. I'm going to copy this and paste it in just a few times. How many links have we got? 5. So I'll do 5 there. And then the first one is our story. I'm just going to move this a little bit over there so we can see easily. Our story, menu, reservations, news and reviews. Alright, so that there, my friends, is the header complete. So what I'm going to do is just create a comment here, and this is going to be start homepage content, just so we know later on, and then I'm going to do another comment that says end homepage content. And this is going to be more useful to us when we're transferring this to a WordPress theme, just so we know where the homepage content starts and where it ends. And we're going to put all that in the middle there in the next lesson. But for now, I just want to move on to the footer, which is down here at the bottom. And essentially, this footer just has 4 columns in it. So we're just going to use 4 UL tags to do those. But before we do that, I again want to create that div with the class of wrapper, just to keep all the content central within this column, yeah, from here to here. So we've done that, and then we need to create our UL tags, and then some LI tags. The first one is this address thing over here, so I'll just copy that. New York restaurant, then another LI, if I could type. Then it's 3926, what's that say? Anmore Road, yeah, okay, sounds nice. And then New York, NY 10014, and finally the number, which is 718-749-1714. I can barely read that there, it's so small. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Alright, that's better. Okay, so that's the first column. What I'm going to do is just copy this now and paste it again for the second column. I'll just change this to France. Then the address is 68 Rue da le Couronne. That's my best French accent. And then the, God knows what this number is, 75002 Paris. And finally, I don't know how I've got those Z's there, by the way. Let's just make that what it should be. Finally, the number, which is 02. Okay, they have dots in their numbers. 94.23.69.56. This looks more like an IP address, but hey ho. That's what they want. That's what they shall get. Then the third column is going to be all these links right here. So we need these anchor tags in this time. So a href equals nothing for the time being. Blog. Same again down here. And again, we'll sort all of these links out later on when we come to do the WordPress menus. There's no point in putting them in now if we're just going to change them later. I'm all about saving time and generally being lazy when it comes to coding things up. But you know, don't do what you don't need to. And then finally, we've got this link at the bottom, which is contact. Perfect. Right, we've got one more UL. And this first LI is going to have this image right in it here. So we'll just put the image tag in there, give it a source of images, because it's in the images folder. And then / its white logo, if I remember correctly. Perfect. Alright, so we'll give this an alt attribute, just to be nice, and we'll call it logo. Then we just need 2 more things. This second LI tag is going to be for this copyright message here. And when you want to get this copyright message, all you need to do is the little code for it in the HTML, which starts with the ampersand, then copy, not compy, copy, and then the semicolon. Now, you won't believe the amount of times I struggled to try and find out how to do this when I first started web design. Alright, and a lot of the time I just left it out because I didn't know how to do it. But there is the secret, guys. You no longer have to search for it. That's what we do. All rights reserved. Let's change that to 2015 since that's where we are now. And then the final LI tag is going to be for that. Oh no, we don't do that. We won't do that. That's just a link to the website where we got this template for. But if I was making this for a client, then I wouldn't put that on at the bottom because it just looks a little unprofessional. So that is the header and the footer sorted. Alright guys, and by the way, I've just made that comment about here. If you do a website, it is nice to give them credit. Maybe just put the link somewhere less noticeable, maybe just a little bit down here separate from the rest, because it is nice to give people credit. If they're designing a PSD for you, then you want to give them credit surely, because they've gone out of their way to help you and you're using it for free. So hey, let's give them some credit. Right, so anyway, that's the footer and the header sorted. In the next lesson, what we're going to do is all of this juicy stuff in the middle, which is these things right here and all this stuff right there. Alright, so don't forget to subscribe, share and like guys, and I'll see you in that very next tutorial.